What's up guys, this is Balázs from Racing Brick. We've been eagerly waiting for any updates about the 2022 or probably 2023 LEGO Technic 1/8 scale supercar, but unfortunately nothing is confirmed or denied at this point. So we could continue speculating about the car, but I did that already last time. By the way, this video will have a lot of links, so I dedicated a blog post to it that you can access from the top right corner in the description. I've got a better suggestion for today. Let's take a look at these 5 cars. What do they have in common? What are the differences? And what can we say about this whole 1/8 scale supercar sensation at the beginning of 2022? Let's get started. So, a quick clarification about the cars you see today. 3 of them here are official LEGO sets: the Porsche 911 GT3 RS from 2016, the Bugatti Chiron from 2018, and the Lamborghini Sián FKP37 from 2020. This one here is a different breed. It's a MOC, short for My Own Creation, a custom design by the well-known supercar designer Rox Lego. This is a Ferrari F12 built with genuine LEGO parts. The last one also very much looks like a Ferrari, but it's called the C61042W Italian supercar and it is a product of Coda. The designer is Bruno Jensen. This is his approved and licensed design, although for obvious reasons it is not officially licensed from Ferrari. I'm sure you know all the tiniest little details about these 3 already, but if you missed or forgot anything, then my detailed review playlist is linked in the blog post. I did not build this one, so I don't have a review published. I borrowed it from my friend Kristóf, who runs a YouTube channel in Hungarian about LEGO. You can check it out in the blog post. I did a review about this one, but it was published on my second YouTube channel recently. If you are interested, then as previously, check out the post on my webpage. So, what I would like to do today is to take a look at these 3 official sets to see the evolution of this team and figure out what can we realistically expect from the next incarnation, and I would like to compare them to the custom LEGO builds in general, with this one here as an example, and also to products from alternative manufacturers like this one. Let's start with the Porsche. This was the first in this LEGO Technic supercar series, and to be honest, it is somewhat visible. A 6-year-old design, simple bodywork, visible gaps, simple interior, but hey, it's a track-focused race car and not some luxury toy kept in an underground vault. It needs to be simple and efficient. The Porsche introduced this whole exclusive supercar concept to LEGO Technic. It had the fancy box and the hefty manual with all the extra information. It was a big hit back those days. Okay, the gears in the gearbox were not in the correct order initially. You can also switch gears in reverse, so it still had its teething troubles. My biggest complaint probably is with the hidden mechanics. You build a flat 6 engine, the gearbox, lots of moving mechanical components, and at the end they are completely hidden in the build with almost no visible effect. Sorry for the wires, there's a third-party light kit installed in this one and I did not want to remove it. Yes, lots of thin wires in a car with this amount of moving gears and parts, but it's not a problem at all. Why? Because this Porsche paved the way for this generation of big LEGO automotive sculptures that are built using mostly Technic pieces, but in reality they are meant to sit on a shelf and their only job is to look cool, so all those fine mechanics won't be used unfortunately. After the Porsche, the guys at LEGO felt that the look alone will not be enough as a selling point, so with the Bugatti the emphasis was even more on the building experience. They kept the recipe of the nice box, the fine manual with all the details, but made those even fancier and also added an exclusive podcast to the package that you could listen during building. I think that was a brilliant idea, tons of interesting information from LEGO and Bugatti employees. It really made the whole building process even more enjoyable. The set also introduced some new parts that made a more complex 8-speed gearbox possible. It is a little bit more visible and we can have a sneak peek at the W16 engine as well at the rear. We've got a fancy interior and there's a brick build key that we can use to raise the spoiler, so it does deliver visibly more than the Porsche. The front of the car almost touches the ground, there's not much suspension travel left after all these years, and we still have more gaps, especially at the front, than most people would like, but that's what we got in 2018. Then came the Lamborghini, and it definitely was an evolution, but not a revolution. It has a refined 8-speed gearbox that is somewhat more visible, but we need to turn the car upside down to take a look at it. The engine bay is very nice and detailed, but we only see 2 pistons moving out of the 12, which is quite a shame again. The interior looks great, and finally we have some mechanical functions that have visible effects, like the opening doors and the spoiler activation. Suspension is better this time, although it did not have as much time to sit as the Bugatti, so we'll see that in a few years. I think the whole look and design is more coherent than the previous two. I very much like the manually operated functions that can be easily demonstrated while it is sitting on a shelf. Too bad the main attraction is still supposed to be the huge gearbox that does practically nothing after being built. Now here comes the Ferrari Mach by LoxLego. This is the manual version. It could be built with motors and remote control. There are actually multiple options for that and also multiple color options. The look might be a personal preference. The paneling and the overall shape looks great, but I'm not a big fan of the flex axle based solutions at the front and over the wheels. It has a detailed interior, and as a big plus it has hand-of-God steering operated with this gear at the rear. Too bad you need to move the car to be able to steer, as it seems to be too heavy to be steered in place. You can see the nice V12 engine under the hood, but there's no gearbox this time, which is not a deficiency actually. There are some issues here and there. For example, around the front wheels and the suspension, parts are touching each other easily and the whole suspension does not have much visible effect. It is fine in this form, but I think if it would be motorized, then it would cause some issues for sure. And now to the Coda Italian supercar. I think the whole bodywork looks probably the best on this one. Very nice complex surfaces built with Technic panels at various angles, and they are not just hanging in the air, but the whole structure is quite sturdy. I really like that. Too bad the extra details built with system pieces are way more fragile. It is very easy to lose parts from the front, and especially from the rear. This is a quite complex set with a remote-controlled sequential gearbox. If you want to know more about it, then I suggest to check out my full review. To sum that up, I like the details and the whole look, but I think the RC function does not have much added value here. The RC gearbox has no visible effect, it only complicates the build. The car also has an almost fully black interior during building. I know there are some people who like that, but I suggest everyone to try to build such set once, and then LEGO's color coding will suddenly make sense. This one is very challenging. Now what about the price? The Porsche is retired for some time now. The price was $300 or euros. Nowadays you need to pay around 450 euros if you want to buy it new. The Bugatti's RRP is 370 euros or $350, but you can already buy it around 300 euros if you find a good deal. It was marketed as retiring soon last year, but might stay for another year, we'll see. The Lamborghini's RRP is 400 euros or $380, but with a nice discount you can get one for 250 euros already. Since this Ferrari is a Mach, you usually need to collect all the required parts yourself. It has part lists for the different versions on Rebricable. It's quite difficult to set a price as it highly depends on your location and the actual availability, but there's another option. You can buy the whole package at buildamach.com, but it has a pretty hefty price tag. You need to pay 850 euros for the manual version and 1000 euros for the RC one. The Coda Italian supercar is available at various retailers. Their official shop is listing the RC version currently for $227, and you need to pay $180 for the manual version. So, as you see, the Coda one is the cheapest, even with motors. Then comes the Lamborghini, then the Bugatti. The Porsche is retired, so if you want it new, then it will be more expensive. And the Ferrari Mach is on a very different level if you want all parts new and from a single place. So, what are my general thoughts about this 1/8 scale supercar category? First of all, I think these are definitely display sets. They are not meant to be played. I don't think an RC function at this scale makes much sense. An RC car needs to be durable, so you either make it strong with less details, or add details, but then you will lose them if you try to drive it around. Honestly, I don't even think these would need functional gearboxes at all. You build them once, then never use them again. They would need more practical mechanical functions like the spoiler or the doors of the Lamborghini. They are attractive and easy to demonstrate. Even an official light kit as a function would be much better. And now we arrive to the question, why are these cars Technic at all if they are strictly display pieces? Well, the most simple answer is probably their size. Technic parts and panels are bigger in general than system pieces, and it's better to use them for structural builds. Bigger curved or angled panels are also easier to replicate with Technic, although there will be definitely more gaps at the end. A car at this size would need a massive amount of system parts, and it would be very heavy as well. The Ecto One is probably the biggest and heaviest creator expert car, and it still looks much slimmer than these behemoths. Now my final thoughts about the official sets, mocks and third-party products. LEGO will continue this product line for sure. I think we won't get much surprises either in the next one. Gearbox, engine, hopefully some practical functions as well, with a similar price tag like the Lamborghini. If you like these, then you will probably like that one as well. If you want to build something custom and you don't have a huge inventory of parts at home, then you will definitely need to pay even more for a custom 1/8 build. There are plenty of these on Rebricable.com. I would go for the look and not a complex gearbox or anything motorized. Remember, these are Technic sculptures at the end of the day. Instructions on the other hand can be very different. You can get ones that are very similar to the official LEGO instructions, but like in the case of this one, some of them are photo instructions that are definitely more challenging to follow. And then there's the option to get something from a different brand. The prices are tempting, but part quality can be a concern. Coda is fine, but they are still not at LEGO levels, so don't be surprised. The building process can be also different. In the case of this one, it is not for beginners for sure. So, these are my thoughts about this car category. Please share yours in the comments. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. I also suggest to subscribe with notifications, since there are lots of exciting LEGO reviews coming soon. See you next time, bye bye.